Recently, Sigma released 3 new lenses. There was a 50mm f2 DG DN, a 17mm f4 DG DN, and a 23mm f1.4 DC DN. The differences in the letters there means that the 50mm and the 17mm are both designed for full frame sensors, and the 23 was designed for use with an APS-C sensor. Now in this video today, we're going to be diving into the 50mm, but don't despair if you were hoping to see more about the 17, because we're also doing a review on that, and it's coming out very soon, if not already. There'll be a link in the description if it's already out. If it's not there yet, make sure to subscribe and click on the little bell to turn on notifications so you can make sure you don't miss any of these reviews coming for you. Now luckily we are based in Brighton. It is a fantastically sunny summer day, so I thought I'd head out first thing this morning with the 50mm into the streets to see how it performed with that really contrasty, huge dynamic range kind of summer light. The 50mm f2 has a solid metal barrel, but it still only weighs in at 345 grams, and it's only 70mm long, making it totally inconspicuous for shooting in busy places, even with its very solid lens hood. There is an external aperture ring and an AF/MF selector switch on the lens itself as well, for those of us who like a bit more manual control rather than everything being on the dials of the camera. That is nice. You can sort of tell when they've been well made. That feels properly solid. A guy bashed into me this morning and I hit this on a wall, and it was, you know, it's perfect. I knew it was safe, and I really like that about it. But not just that, because I'm a Sony shooter generally, and I have a lot of lenses which have the aperture rings, this feels really natural to me. It feels like one of my Sony lenses. It's not something I have to get used to. Also, I would say that if you are a native Sony shooter and you're used to using maybe some of their smaller, lighter lenses, maybe the G series, remember this is a contemporary lens, not one of the art series. That's why we get it a little bit smaller. If I'm measuring this with my A7R5 here, it's a bit of a flex. It feels well balanced, right? There's not a huge amount of weight to the front. Even with that metal lens hood, it feels like the majority of the weight is here. So if you are shooting street and you're walking around with this round your neck, which I did test this morning, and it just felt great. So if you are hoping to use this as more of a street photo type of lens, it works perfectly for that. And also I can imagine if you're doing video, it would be great for gimbal use as well. Both of the lenses I have here, the 17 and the 50mm, are both in E-mount because I predominantly shoot Sony. However, they are available in L-mount as well. So if you shoot something like Panasonic S5 Mark II or Leica SL2, these lenses, you can get them in the mounts for those cameras as well. The optics will be the same, everything's the same, so you don't have to worry about them looking any differently. They're just different mounts. Interestingly, Sigma have said that the optics within this 50mm f2 contemporary lens are comparable to the 50mm 1.4 art, and their art lenses are beautiful. So I wanted to know what was going on actually inside of this lens. So right in here, we have 11 elements in 9 groups, and that includes 1 SLD or super low dispersion element and 3 spherical lenses, just to help with aberrations and distortions, minimizing all that to get the best possible quality through this lens. They also use the super multi-layer coating as well, which helps to reduce things like ghosting and flaring. And I did try and force a little bit of that earlier today, but I could only get, well, not very much really of anything at all. Here are some of the images I've shot with this 50mm today. Now, okay, they're not winning any street photography awards. However, they do give you an idea of what the quality of this lens looks like. How do you think it performs? Make sure to leave a comment to let us know how you feel about this new 50mm from Sigma. For me, when I've got a 50mm lens, there are 3 things I find really important. I want to know how close I can get to a subject, what the out of focus areas look like, and how sharp it is. So let's start off with how close we can get. Sigma quote the minimum focusing distance as 45 centimeters, which isn't super close, but you are still able to force a very narrow depth of field and get a lot of detail. Remember, minimum focusing distance is always to the sensor, right? So through the lens. So however long your lens is, it's not to the end, it's to the sensor. Next up, what do the out of focus areas look like? You can create some beautiful depth with this lens, even though it's f2 minimum, not a 1.4 or 1.2 like some people want to see from a 50mm. The bokeh is also very round and clean. And last but not least, we're interested in the quality of this lens, what it actually produces. And that's part of the reason I'm testing it on the A7R5. This is a 60 megapixel camera. The resolving power of the sensor is fantastic. So if there's any flaws in this lens, they're gonna show up when you're shooting with this camera. So here are some images. Again, you take a look for yourself. I like what this is producing, but you let us know how you're feeling about it. Now, a few nights ago, myself, Ian and Jakob all popped along to a beach that had a lot more sand and a lot less city. And I was there into the evening, so it meant I got to try this out in kind of a lower light, softer light situation. I really enjoyed using this lens. These type of lenses from Sigma feel great in the hand, they're well balanced, and the image quality is great. And they're at a good price point as well. But for now, a massive thank you for watching. I hope you join us again soon for some more videos from MPB.